Carrefour is the #1 retail group in Europe and second in the world. There are more than 365,000 employees in 10,000 stores across the group today. Carrefour Banque is an affiliation between BNP Paribas and Carrefour dating to 1985, and which has grown quite a lot ever since. If we take France as an example, there are today around 2.9 million credit cards in use nationally. The challenge was to put in place a complete suite to help support the transformation of Carrefour towards a certain level of autonomy. Thus, a complete accounting package, but also all the peripheral products around accounting. When you set up an ERP today, if you don't put in place an upstream system to transform information with a bit of flexibility, you lose productivity. And you also lose in terms of cost and planning. What you should know is that Carrefour Banque has between 40 and 50 million inputs coming from the management system daily. So we needed some flexibility, but at the same time, a certain rigor to enable integration of these flows every morning before 8 a.m. We also needed some flexibility in the accounting rules to maintain control and be able to adapt according to the business needs. We had to be impeccable at the regulatory level. The Accounting Integrator Suite allows us to have this flexibility, and it allows us to be in step with regulatory changes. What was especially important for us was to integrate the business side to the maximum, and to do so very early on. Also, to make the business people understand that the project was for them, and that they would be the ones using it in the end. So, this change of behavior took place all the way throughout the project. It meant preserving our technical professionalism while maintaining business-level flexibility by giving them access to tools that are not just technical IT tools, but in fact, business applications. We are catering to a population of accountants and business controllers. These are people who are used to working with auditors. Every 3 to 4 months, they have an audit. Therefore, there was a very strong expectation to address auditors, to prove our data's transparency, and to show data reliability. And thus, Axway Accounting Integration allowed us to pass the first 2 audits since we put the project in place. One was an internal, fully internal audit. The second one was from the French regulator. We responded perfectly to both audits. The auditors were satisfied with the traceability and the fact that users were not involved in the whole process, except for the manual SAP entries. Another important part is when you have a large volume of data. You need to be able to monitor flows from a business perspective. So here, I'm not talking about technical monitoring to know if a file transfer took place, but rather to know how many flows there were initially. How many were integrated in the solution, how many were processed, and how many were in error. Today, our business people focus on analyzing data, and less time is wasted on looking for a problem. Before, if we look at examples, there was a full-time person in our accounting organization who was there just to look and check for errors. On top of all that, a big constraint is the reconciliation of the accounting base, which is often something that is underestimated. With a large volume of more than 50 million inputs daily, accountants must be able to easily find their information and be able to do the matching between their accounting bases and the management systems in order to facilitate identification of discrepancies and differences. And that allowed us to professionalize the finance function, business controlling, accounting, and treasury. All of them are using the Axway suite, and it helped professionalize them. Now they spend less time on so-called administrative tasks and more on business tasks. Today, we can guarantee that all data flowing through our systems are completely reliable and transparent.